Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Hump Day. Got a great video for you guys today. We're about 3 weeks, less than a month until the draft. I'm so excited. But what I want to do today, I want to go by division and rank each team in the division, see how they stack up against their counterparts. So let's go with the AFC East first. We have the Buffalo Bills, we have the New York Jets, we have the Miami Dolphins, and we have the New England Patriots. We're going to start from the top to the bottom. And let's start with the Miami Dolphins. I think who's going to be the best team in that division next year. The Miami Dolphins, number one. Some notable additions. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey. I think Jalen Ramsey, pair him with Xavier Howard. I think it bolsters that defense tremendously. That secondary is going to be pretty darn good. I still think they have Eric Rowe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I still think they have Eric Rowe back there as a safety in the safety position. But I love the trade. I love them getting Jalen Ramsey. It's going to put them near the top of the top. We'll see how the defense progresses. So I love them getting Jalen Ramsey. One of the key departures was Mike Gesicki going to New England. I think Mike Gesicki would have been good going into this make or break year for him going into this year if Tua was fully healthy. Really great hands. He's a great addition to the Patriots. Give Mac Jones another weapon. So that was pretty much their biggest departure. Their biggest draft need right now is probably tight end. I will say that's probably their biggest draft need. They don't have a first round pick, so their dream draft prospect will probably be Darnell Washington out of Georgia. 6'8", 200 something pounds, man, just a monster of a man. I can see them getting Darnell Washington in the second round where they get their first pick at. But I have the Miami Dolphins number one in the AFC East. Number two is the Buffalo Bills. They easily could have been number three. We'll get to that later. But the Buffalo Bills, you still got Josh Allen. Some key additions. Damian Harris coming over from New England to bolster that running back. You still got Josh Allen. Still got Stephon Diggs there. You got Gabe Davis there. You got Dalton Knox there. Biggest departure on defense, probably one of the biggest departures were probably. I don't think they really had anybody huge leave, if I'm not mistaken. You bring in Tyler Rapp, the pair with Mecca Hyde and Jordan Poyer, who came back, which was clutch for them coming back. So I think their biggest draft need, I think, is wide receiver. Have that third receiver. Who knows if Stephon leaves? If he leaves, Gabe Davis, is he gonna take he's gonna take that next step? Is who's gonna be that number three? And I think their dream prospect, their dream draft pick would probably be Jordan Addison out of UFC. Had a very good year at last year in Pitt, and going over to USC this past season. Didn't really put up the numbers he did at Pitt. Played with Caleb Williams, so you would think the numbers would be better. I got Jordan Addison will be the dream pick for the Buffalo Bills. Moving along, the number three team, which if they had gotten Aaron Rodgers already, would have been the number two team, the New York Jets. The New York Jets, man, they're there. I'm telling you, they're a quarterback away. I think they are there. With Breece Hall, with Alan Lazard coming in, got Meek Cole coming in, got Chuck Clark coming in on the defense. Man, they're there. I'm telling you. You got Sauce Gardner, you got Quentin Williams in the defensive interior, man. I'm telling you, the New York Jets, they're coming. They're going to be dangerous. I think their biggest draft need right now will be tackle or an offensive line. Whenever they get Aaron Rodgers, if they get him, you got to protect them. No matter who's the quarterback there, you got to protect them. And I think their biggest dream draft pick will probably be Paris Johnson. He will be there probably with Peter Skronsky coming first, with all the edge rushers probably going before. I think Paris Johnson Jr. will be a great pick for the Jets coming out of Ohio State. And then a number 4 team in that division, I believe, will be the New England Patriots. You bringing in Mike Gesicki, you bringing in Juju Smith-Schuster. I think that's a very good pickup for them. Give Mac Jones some more weapons. You lose Damian Harris though. You still got Lamar J. Stevenson back there. Offensive line is pretty decent. Your defense is pretty okay. So their biggest draft need to me would probably be wide receiver. When you look at Mac Jones back in Alabama, he had an elite receiving core. So you got to give Mac Jones some weapons. And their dream pick to me would probably be Quentin Johnston at a TCU. Tall receiver, about 6'4". He's pretty built. He's a speedster, somebody that can take the top off, somebody that's that deep threat. He could be like their DK Metcalf. That's who I kind of compare Quentin Johnston to is a DK Metcalf type receiver. So I think Quentin Johnston would be a great pickup for the New England Patriots. And like I said, it's early. They have an early pick, so I think he will be there. I think he will be there when there's time there for them to pick. But that's the AFC East. The Miami Dolphins, the Buffalo Bills, the New York Jets, the New England Patriots. It depends on if the Jets can get a competent quarterback. If the Jets can somehow swingle Lamar out of Baltimore or get Aaron Rodgers, they will definitely be number 2 fighting for that number 1 position. But with them having Zach Wilson still there, I can't put them above Buffalo. And the reason why they're above the Patriots, because I believe in their defense. I believe in their young core. I believe in Breece Hall. I believe in Garrett Wilson. You got Mecole. You got Allen Lazard. And so I believe in those guys. I believe in their defense. Their defense is really good. It's going to get better. So that's why they're below Buffalo, because they still have Zach Wilson, but they're above New England because I believe in those young stars that they got. And they got the defense. Miami Dolphins, man, they're going to be fighting for number 1 seed, I believe. If Tua can stay healthy, they're going to be fighting for that number 1 seed in the AFC altogether, because their team is probably one of the most well-rounded teams in the NFL. You look at every position. On the Dolphins, and it's just really good. You got Tua, who was one of the best quarterbacks last year when he wasn't injured. You got a medley of running backs. You got Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, and I can't forget who else they had on the running back. But they got 3 decent running backs. Receiving core is outstanding with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. Offensive line led by is it Teron Armstead? I think that's his name. And defensive line led by Bradley Chubb, and the secondary with Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey, man. If you look down, man, the Miami Dolphins are loaded. They just need to put it all together, and they need to stay on the field. They cannot have all these injuries. They need to stay on the field. If they do that, I believe they can be the number 2, 3 seed, because we all know who's gonna be number 1. It's them boys from Kansas City. So, great outlook. It's gonna be a very tough division. I don't think there's a bad team in that division. Let me get that out there. I don't think the Patriots are a bad team. I don't think they're a horrible team. They're just not as good as the other teams in that division. It's like you have the Jets, Dolphins, and Buffalo Bills are right here, neck and neck. And then probably right here is the Patriots. They're not right there or anything like some other teams in other divisions. these are the top three, and then probably right here is the Patriots. So that's the AFC East. My power rankings for the AFC East going into next year. Um, let's move over to some NBA. We have the number 6 seed right now, as of right now, the Los Angeles Clippers versus the number 7 going for the Los Angeles Lakers. I believe who win this game is going to end up being that 6 seed, because I don't think the Warriors are going to. I don't think the Warriors are going to lose out. I think the Warriors win the rest of their games. Whoever wins this game between the Lakers and Clippers, I think cement themselves as the number 6 seed. LeBron and AD playing off a back-to-back. I think this is Russ's first time playing in LA, so I think the Russ are trying to go out there and put up 20-something points. Kawhi is going to do his thing. I think Kawhi and Russ get about 25 apiece. LeBron's gonna do his thing, man. He's fighting for the playoffs, man. It's that time for LeBron to do his thing going into the playoffs. And AD been playing like a monster, obviously, and Austin Reeves been playing like, Austin Reeves been balling, for real. Hopefully D'Lo come back, and the defense, their defense has been really good with Vandy and Hashimura coming in. So, I think it's gonna be a great game. I'm taking the Lakers. I think it's gonna be a high score game, somewhere around 120, 115ish. I think AD and LeBron probably will combine for 60, and I think Kawhi and Russ probably combine for 60 as well. So, it's gonna be a great game. I'm excited for it. And then Dallas is fighting for their playoffs lives. They're one game behind them back from the 10th seed for the play-in tournament. A lot of people want to put the blame on Kyrie. I don't think you could put the blame on Kyrie. Kyrie's been balling since he got to Dallas. It's just the fit. It doesn't fit with him and Luka. I mean, you give up your pieces to trade for another Luka, basically a ball dominant ball handler, and that doesn't play defense really. And I think that's the Mavs' biggest problem is that they can't play any defense. You look at what you gave up, especially Dinwiddie and Finney Smith, two very good defenders, and you're not big on the block. You have JaVale McGee, you have Max Kleber, you have Dwight Powell, but those are rotational guys starting, and so it's tough to see, man. It's tough to see Luka like this, man. I feel like Luka probably could have had a ring right now, if everything came out the right way. But he's been literally by himself his whole career starting off. So Mark Cuban really haven't did anything to really help him. They had something with Jalen Brunson. Mark Cuban didn't want to pay him, but you go ahead and trade for Kyrie, who has a bigger price tag than Jalen Brunson, and then you give away your pieces. And you could have kept those pieces. You could have kept Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's out in New York balling. And you probably could have made some moves for Kevin Durant or for DeMar DeRozan, for Zach LaVine, for one of these guys to come in and help out Luka. But I don't know what Mark Cuban is out there doing in Dallas. But I think Luka is probably gone. I don't know if his contract is up this year or next year, but I think if Mark Cuban doesn't do anything fast, Luka is out of there. I'm excited to see what goes on in the NBA playoffs right now. You got the Bucks leading the East, you got the Nuggets leading the West, and then the West is wide open. I think if the Lakers can get the 6th seed, I think they have a better chance of beating the Kings in the first round than beating somebody like the Phoenix Suns or Memphis Grizzlies, man. I think if you can get LeBron versus the Kings in the first round, that's trouble for everybody else, because you're giving LeBron a second round. Now, I'm not saying they're going to beat the Kings. I don't want to disrespect the Kings like that, because what the Kings been doing has been crazy this year. The Kings have been balling this year. I don't think they made the playoffs in a decade or something like that. And then the number 3 seed, De'Aaron Fox is balling. Sabonis is going crazy. They got Keegan Murray out there backing up, man. The Kings are going crazy. Got Malik Monk coming off the bench scoring. The Kings have been going crazy. But I don't want to disrespect the Kings, but I just feel like LeBron with the experience that he has with AD and those guys, coming in the first round, I think that's the easier first round matchup than playing somebody like the Grizzlies, or playing somebody like the Suns, especially the Suns. That's a tough matchup for LeBron to play the Suns. You want to see that in the second round or conference finals, get to the playoffs. I don't, and I'm not saying that they can't beat the Grizzlies, because the Grizzlies can obviously be beat. They beat them this year already. I just think the best route, the easier matchup, is for the Lakers to get the Kings, and then you set up either the Grizzlies or Suns in the second round. So I'm excited for the NBA season. I'm excited for the playoffs. I think this is probably going to be one of the better playoffs, because we don't know. We don't know. In times past, we'd be like, okay, this team is going, but we honestly don't know. And it's like that in the East too, because you can say, okay, you can say Giannis and the Bucks got it, but Philly is making noise with Tyrese Maxey playing well, with Embiid probably going to win MVP, which I think he should this year, especially the later games of the year. Embiid really picked it up. Jokic probably got hurt a little bit, probably lost some of his steam. Didn't really perform enough at the end of the year, and Jokic went like this, and Embiid went like that, and so I think Embiid is a shoe-in for MVP. But it don't mean a thing if he ain't got that. I mean, it's gonna mean something, because that's a really good thing for Embiid, winning that MVP award. Something he probably should have won. He's been back-to-back, been second place back-to-back last 2 years. Probably should have won one of those. I think he gets it now. But you got to perform, man. If he wins MVP, then go out in the first round in the playoffs, with that MVP really doesn't mean anything. It's just another trophy in your trophy case. Now, if you can get to the conference finals, or you can get to the NBA finals, then the MVP will be solidified. But the East is wide open too. We don't know who's going to the East, who's going to the championship in the East, man. There's no LeBron there no more. It could be Giannis. The matchups are crazy that you can have. It could be Giannis. It could be Jason Tatum, man. It could be Philly. Those who I think the top three who people are probably expecting to go to represent the East in the NBA Finals. But you don't want to sleep on the Cavaliers, man. The best defensive team in the league. They just need to get more consistent, man. Donovan Mitchell's been going crazy. Evan Mobley's been playing really good. Darius Garland. I need to see more consistency from DG, man. I think Darius Garland is the key to the Cavs going far in the playoffs. Darius Garland is the key, man. He has to show up every game. He cannot take games off, because we know what Donovan Mitchell is going to bring. Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen is going to play on the defense, and the bench needs to step up. Karis LeVert has to step up. Ricky Rubio has to step up. Chatty Ogden. Those guys have to step up coming off the bench. You can't just rely on Donovan Mitchell to get you 40 every night. So the Knicks, I don't think the Knicks are just there just yet. I love what they're doing with Julius Randle. Been balling this year. Picking up Josh Hart was very good. Jalen Brunson has been outstanding this year, man. I don't think anybody thought Jalen Brunson was going to be this type of player coming into New York. We saw snippets of it last year in Dallas, but I don't think anybody thought that he was going to come out like this. And I think realistically, I think whoever get the Brooklyn Nets in the first round is going to have some trouble. Brooklyn Bridges is a real thing, man. You got Spencer Deadwood, you got Nick Clatt, and rebounding. I think they lead the league in block shots, if I'm not mistaken. So it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. This is probably one of the first years we don't know who's making it to the NBA Finals. I'm excited for it. But that's all time we got for today. I want to thank you for coming and watching my video, man. Don't forget to run up the views. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and always keep God number one. God bless. See y'all later.